Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back today with episode number 3 of Q&A Sunday. With some more questions, thank you for submitting them. Some Tottenham versus Manchester United gameplay in the background. That is happening today, or has happened. Of course, I recorded this a few days before, so fingers crossed Manchester United got the win. I've taken all the names off the hood. I've got a broadcast camera, so it does look a little bit more realistic. Anyway, let's get into it for today. First question from Some Next Gamers. He says, who do you think is going to win the Premier League this season? I think it's going to be a tough call. I think it's going to be a close season this year. Unlike last year, United ran away with it. You know, Arsenal were up there, obviously first. They've had a pretty consistent start. Chelsea have been up and down. Manchester City will win 6-0 and then lose 1-0 to Sunderland. Man United all over the shop. Even Liverpool having a good start as well. But I think at the end of the day, Arsenal, if they can maintain that form, they're going to be a tough team to beat. As long as they keep everyone injury-free, I think it could be definitely them giving them, you know, a real chance to win a title for the first time in quite a while. But obviously I like Man United to win, but pigs will fly. Okay, next up, Tanish Nesh says, what do you think will happen to PES 2015 if they lose the Champions League and Europa League license to FIFA 15? Well, I think FIFA 15 are going to get the FIFA are going to get the Champions League license next year. I think they are. Which isn't a big deal because FIFA has so many licenses anyway. What's a few more? But I think for PES it would be massive if they did lose it, because they don't have a substantial amount. You know, they have La Liga, Serie A, even though they don't have the stadiums. They don't have the Premier League. They don't have a bunch of them. So if they lost the Champions League and the Europa League, which is two of the biggest competitions in the world, it would be a massive slap in the face for Konami. So I think, fingers crossed, they have to keep it. I'd like them to do more with the Champions League as well, especially when it comes to next gen. Let's add a live draw where we're sitting there watching the people picking out the balls and the teams. I think that would be real kind of nice to add. And if Konami weren't so lazy, maybe we'd be able to see such a feature. Next up from Mr. Onke100 says, what is your camera type in FIFA 14 career mode? By the way, awesome career mode. Keep it up, bro. Bad English. Well, you haven't got bad English. It was good English. And thanks very much. The camera angle I'm using, I think, is telly. Not telly broadcast. I don't like that one. I think it's telly, and I've made it wider. I don't know the exact camera angle. I'll have to go on there, and I'll leave the camera settings in my next FIFA video just for you guys, because I'm really bad at leaving stuff in descriptions. But I'll try my best. So there we have it. Next up, from Nil, N-I-L, he says, how are you adapting to the US of A? That's an interesting question. Now, I've been here nearly 10 years, so it's been quite a while. When I first came here, I was all over the place. You know, going to school in America is totally different to going to school in England. First of all, in England, I think I had 200 and something people in my year. So about 1,000 people total in the school, maybe not even that. And then you move to America and it's about 900 people in just 1 year alone. 3,000 something students in a school. It's madness. It's just huge. The classes are so different. Everything is tests and more tests, which I hate. I can't take tests. Useless. Sit me down on the computer and let me do my thing. You know, a bit of web design, a bit of graphic design. But taking tests, can't stand it. One thing I did absolutely love, though, was the football. Because you get to play in a massive stadium. You don't get to play with, you know, loads of people watching you. Maybe there's like 50 or so people. But you play a proper stadium, there's floodlights, you know, you've got proper referees. And I remember in England playing in high school, you'd be lucky if there was any nets on the goals. There'd be holes in the nets. You know, it would just be an absolute shambles, to be honest with you. So the football side of things was definitely fun. School was totally different. The weather, absolutely love it over here. You know, it's November now, and it is 80-something degrees outside, which is about 30 Celsius, 28 Celsius, I don't know. So absolutely beautiful weather. But I have adapted pretty well. I can't work, which absolutely sucks. Is an absolute joke. So hopefully in the future I will be, because my parents are on a certain visa and all this. It is a con. If you come to America and you think it's cheap, no way, Jose. It is ridiculously expensive, and it's got its ups and downs just like any country. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to move back to England because I've been there, done that, and it's just not for me. But I'm adapting pretty well, and thanks for the question. Alright, next up from Hataik Win. I'm not sure how you say that one, but would you prefer Ronaldo or Messi on Man United? Yeah, it's a tough call because both two quality players, it has to be said. But I think when it comes down to it, Ronaldo suited Man United so well. And I honestly think Manchester United would have kept him or got him back to United if Alex Ferguson hadn't retired. Because I think he was in talks, he wasn't sure. Then obviously once Sir Alex retired, he was never going to come back to Manchester United. Just wasn't going to happen. It would have been such an easy transition for him because, he's played there before. And I think if United had got Ronaldo, they would have won the league this season comfortably, because every player in the team would have been that much more confident. You've got basically the world's best player in your team. He scored 35 goals this season in 25 games. It's madness. I don't think Lionel Messi is even close to that. So I would absolutely love Ronaldo back at Man U. And I just don't think it's ever going to happen now, unfortunately. But, big respect to the guy. He is a beast. Let's look at some PES there. Shambles. The AI in this game. Absolute terrible. Vidic on some sort of drug there. Alright, next up from Abue Aweka. Sorry, mate. I do know who you are. I've seen your comments. Big fan of yours as well. But are you still doing the Become a Legend with Balotelli? Now, you have left a comment about this, and I did reply, but I am doing a couple of games here and there with Balotelli. I didn't want to carry on doing that because I don't want to start too many careers. I've already got one on PES and one on FIFA. If I start adding and Become a Legend now, it's going to make everything slow, and I'm not going to be able to really get into the gist of things. But I am doing a couple of games with him. I think I'm playing pretty well as well. Become a Legend this year on Superstar is not very difficult, I don't think. I've scored goals where I've literally walked up to the goal and tapped them in. But I'm playing pre-patch. You have to remember this. I'm not playing post-patch yet. I'm still waiting for PES Edit to come out with the new patches and the updated option file. So, yeah, I'm still doing it. It will be coming shortly, and I'll do kind of a what's been happening type of video. Next up by Missed by a Whistle. I missed the whistle there completely. What do you think about Man United and David Moyes this season? What are your expectations? Well, I think they're playing all over the place. Hit and miss sometimes. I think David Moyes came in and did the wrong thing. He shouldn't have got rid of his Man United staff that have been there for so many years. He's brought in his own staff with Phil Neville and a bunch of other nobodies, and that basically made it a tough transition for players. When you come in and bring a whole new bunch of staff, there's a whole new manager. It's tough, you've been with Sir Alex so long and his training staff, you're used to that. Then he comes in, switches everything around, and you saw from the start that they had, it was an absolute joke. But they beat Arsenal, it was good, but then last week, they, drew against Cardiff. They're not good enough to win the league this season. I honestly don't think they're going to win any trophies, but Man United aren't going to get rid of David Moyes. They're not Man City, they're not Chelsea. They're going to give him time. Couple of seasons, I'm fine with that. We've won enough trophies so far to say, alright, fine, we'll have one bad season, and then next year hopefully we'll bring in some new players, which he does need to get rid of some players. I don't think Cleverley's needed. I don't think Fellaini was a real big buy, not even that great. So they need a real midfielder. Should have bought Ozil, should have bought him, didn't do it. Anyway, that's my expectations. They're not going to win anything. Next up from Steve the Man 07. When will PES Universe release option files for Xbox? Now, people have been asking. I'm not the man in charge of the option files, unfortunately. That is Roy. Big up to him because he's a beast. But he's working so hard on the PS3 versions that he just hasn't had time to do the Xbox. He's got to convert it all and everything. He did say it will be coming sometime in the future. I don't know when, so I'm sorry, guys. Unfortunately for you Xbox guys, you're going to have to wait. But for PS3 guys, head over to PES Universe. I have updated the links and they will be there. but I'll keep you posted. Next up from Mike Milanesta says, do you like Serie A, Italian League? I know what it is. And which team do you support for Serie A? I do enjoy the Serie A. I don't watch it a whole lot, to be honest with you. I think it's a very slow league. It's a different type of league, personally, that I'm used to seeing. But, yeah, I do watch it now and then. I think one of my favourite teams is probably Roma. I've always loved being Roma. Always played with them on PES. And they've always been good fun to play with. I like watching AC Milan as well, with Balotelli being there. So, yeah, those are kind of my favourite teams. All right, one last question before we head off here. If you were to meet one player, who would it be? And what would you say to them? Great content, by the way. That's from Cookie Crisp 12341. Great question. Thanks very much for the kind words. Anyway, one player would have to be, without a shadow of a doubt, Ryan Giggs. The guy's 40 years of age. He has played in the same team, the same league, for God knows how many years. The guy's an absolute legend. Any player in the world could look up to him and say, you are the pinnacle of football. You know, that is the best way to sum it up, really, isn't it? What would I say to him? No idea. You want to go for a drink? You know, you're a Welsh wizard. You know, he's an absolute animal, a tank. And I think Ryan Giggs would definitely be a player I'd love to meet. Just because, you know, I've watched him grow up ever since I was just a wee lad. And he's just been a phenomenal player for the course of his career. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to head over to TheTrueBrits.com. Leave your predictions. Remember, at the end of the season, if you do get the most points, I will possibly be giving away some prizes here and there. And then submit more Q&As. Goal of the month. So I haven't got many submissions this month. So submit those goals, people. And until next time, take care.